So moving on to continue with the very stories that we have. It was not long ago that we discovered that Avengers Doomsday has begun filming with its varying issues cropping up from the set. Some of them are not verified, but there were rumors or perhaps very possibly confirmed rumors that there was a little, squabble on the set and all that, which, well, I don't know much about it, so I wouldn't want to delve into those rumors because I think it's not so relevant compared to the production itself. However, Channing Tatum, who is reprising his role as Gambit, uh, had an interview and he made known certain developments with him as an individual. Unfortunately, he's hurt himself as a result of some of the stunts that he was engaged in, and therefore it's sort of limited what he can do on the set. However, for his close-ups and others, yes, he's the one that sits in, and gets it done. Well, it's quite exciting when one of the most anticipated films of 2026, you get to hear developments, coming in from that camp. Currently, as we know, Avengers Doomsday is filming, and it looks like they are nowhere done wrapping up, and their film will be slated. It's slated actually for December 2026. So I'm sure they were trying to do the best that they can. And for those who watched Deadpool and Wolverine, it was quite an exciting time in the cinemas and now on streaming when you watch it and you realize that all the superheroes that you knew from back in the days, played cameo in this film. And one of the exciting role, which we had heard prior to the Deadpool movie, that he wanted to develop a film, a Gambit film, and unfortunately it didn't go as planned when Disney acquired 20th Century Fox and had to move things around. But fortunately, with Ryan Reynolds' persistence, he was able to get him back into the Deadpool movie, and one of his performance became one of the highlights of the film, particularly with the Cajun accent, and it was quite. I mean, it was very funny, not just quite funny. One of the major highlights of the film, and he did look the part as Gambit, I must say. If you look at some of the comics, the looks of the comics, it's amazing. Even though prior, I think it's been played by Taylor Kish also in I think Wolverine, Wolverine or Wolverine 2, one of those movies. So yeah, but it looks like he was really born to play the part of Gambit, and then looking at the fact that they are transitioning into the MCU proper, I could understand why the Russo brothers would want to tone it down a little. I don't think they're going to take it out completely, but I'm sure the idea is to make sure that is much intelligible than what we experienced in the Deadpool and Wolverine. And even in the Deadpool and Wolverine itself, he did play it in various, in various understanding levels. So there were times he would go full Cajun, and there are times that he would tone it down for even as the audience to understand what he's saying, aside Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, and Wolverine. So it's quite an interesting development that is happening right now. And I think it's great that he grew around the very people that the character itself has its origins from. So the character itself, has its origins from New Orleans. That's how it was developed. And it's interesting and wonderful to have someone with that background to play that role. And it's quite exciting. And I'm happy for him because that has been one of his life's dream to be Gambit. And it saddens him now that he's hurt himself. If you read other articles, the full interview, it does speak of the fact that, he hates growing old because this has hampered his desire to play his own stunts, and for all those who have watched his films, particularly in Step Up and other, he's quite athletic, quite, nimble. He's able to do very acrobatic stuffs, almost the same as what's it called, Tom Holland. So he wants to do his own stuff, but unfortunately, the injury has caused him the inability to do that. But all the same, I think, and I know for sure that he's excited to be part of this, and he likes playing this role. He likes playing this role, and I know he's very, very happy about it. So unfortunately, we will not have the same comedic, full blown out comedic tone as we had from him in Deadpool and Wolverine. But yes, it's a little bit tampered down, but we're still going to enjoy the same Gambit, but in a different, in a different way. He went on to speak about other stuff as well, about not wanting to play any more fat roles. A lot of body transformations do have, very, I would say, negative impacts on actors sometimes. We may not be with them, so we may not understand what they are going through, but that can take a toll on them, and I can understand him. He's always had an athletic body, so to put on those massive weights can cause a lot of disruption in his, physique, in his physiology. So I could understand why he wouldn't want to. And yes, it's best to be safe than to, to go all out and harm yourself. And I think that's not the best. And I'm happy for him. My hope is that he gets well soon and be back fully, from the injury. But I'm excited about that, and I think the vision of the Russo brothers with this development that we have seen, I'm sure everybody's trying to avoid going down the lane of the Thor, Love and Thunder route. No, but I think it speaks to the fact that the vision they have for the Avengers Doomsday is quite a serious tone, perhaps even more serious and darker than the end game. At least Infinity War, you had a little bit levity, a little in end game, but I think there is more, the stakes are high in this one compared to the ends game. That's what I can speculate with regards to what their approach is, and perhaps that's what's going to have that's what is informing they toning down on the comedic chops of Gambit as a character, as we saw in Deadpool and Wolverine. So it could also mean that the X-Men itself will be much different from the Avengers. Yes, there may be quips here and there, but I don't think their kind of quips will be similar to that of Avengers as we've seen over the years. If anything at all, seeing that you're going to have Jake Schreier, taking over the X-Men franchise, it will be quite similar to that of what we've seen in Thunderbolt. So I think that's perhaps they're trying to make sure it's more cohesive with the vision they have for the X-Men. If perhaps even Channing Tatum gets the opportunity to, reprise his role beyond what's it called, Avengers Secret War. So I'm sure there's a lot we will be seeing from, next year going, when finally teasers and snippets of the production starts dropping to confirm our suspicions and all that. So let me know what you think with regards to this particular approach they are going with the Gambit role. Is it that they are doing it to differentiate it from what we have seen in the Fox X-Men universe, or something different entirely? Whatever the case may be, kindly drop your thoughts in the comments section down below. Now, moving